So just go on Google and you just type download JDK. So you can go to the Java downloads section and you can down. There's no use of installing JDK 19 or 17. 8 is the most stable version for JDK. Okay, even Selenium supports 8. You can download the version 11. Right. You can go to this place and click on the exe of your choice. Like for Windows 64, this is the one. And you would be required to, you know, uh, I think they have done JDK 13 is also good. Why isn't the page loading? Maybe they
What
have
is the
something.
version? What is the version that we need to install on Mac? I know it's not Windows, so it's a Linux or.
Yeah, you can do any 14, 13, 11. Okay, you can down. Maybe they are deploying something or doing something with the website. It's the next page is not loading. Uh, the light box. Okay, maybe it will work in Chrome. I'm using Firefox. So you will have to just sign in into their website and download the exe. Right. And once install JDK, it comes with the complete Java development kit. Okay. Then you have to uh, go and guys, please just hold on. Yeah, you have to install Eclipse. Eclipse is the basic editor for Java. People also use another editor known as IntelliJ. You can use that, but as a beginner, you can use Eclipse. It's very simple. Okay, and it's quite effective for working with Selenium. Okay, and you can download the latest version from here and install it. Right. So once you open Eclipse, make sure JDK is installed. And you can open a command prompt from here and go to Windows Run Module. Okay. And give the command uh, Java. Just type Java. And if you get this kind of a message or something, that means Java is properly installed on your machine. Right. And I'll close this. Then you open Eclipse. This is Eclipse for Java developers. So, right. So this is the workspace path, the path where we will be storing the complete code which we build in the training. Okay. So you can give a certain valid path over here. If the folder is not there, it will create the folder on the hard drive as well. Okay. And you click on launch.
Ashish, is there different versions of Eclipse available too?
Yes, there are different versions. You can download the latest exe. Honestly speaking, as far as learning Selenium is concerned, as a beginner, the versions they don't matter, okay? Because for a beginner, you just need to start with few commands or something, so it won't matter. And this is the welcome screen. You close this. Right. So I'll tell you about Eclipse as well with time. Right. Now let us talk about Selenium a little bit, about the tool. Right. If you go to the official website of Selenium, selenium.dev, this is the official website. And there are three components of Selenium: Selenium WebDriver, IDE, and Grid. IDE is not a very effective tool. Okay. It comes as an add-on in the browser, and it involves less coding, but professionally nobody uses IDE will not generate any reports, anything. It's a little tough to change it as well, change the scripts dynamically, right? So we don't use IDE. What we use to write scripts is something known as Selenium WebDriver. And suppose when the scripts are ready and you are running the scripts, and you realize that say there are 1000 scripts or 10,000 scripts, you realize that the scripts are taking a lot of time to run, then you can run them parallelly across multiple machines, and that can be to achieved with Selenium Grid. The scalability can be achieved on Grid. You can run on multiple machines and devices. Say one machine can be a Mac machine, the other one can be a Windows machine. So you end up testing on different platforms as well, right? Okay, we'll see this. It's very easy, the configuration, right? And if you go to the downloads section, see the latest stable version is 4.6, right? Look, everybody says that fine, I want to learn on the latest version, on the Selenium latest version. But the practical stuff is that uh, the most stable version of Selenium, I'll write here only, was 3.141.59, I guess. After that, 4.0 came up. There were changes in Selenium 4. Right now it is 4.6. But there have been no new commands. Very few changes. Majorly bug fixes have been there. There are changes in Selenium Grid, but if you talk about WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver, hardly any change. Okay, you will find all the old commands working in the new ones as well, and the no new commands being introduced. Okay, right. And do we have to install? Okay, there's a question being asked. Eclipse ID for Eclipse committers. Okay. There's a question being asked that which version of Eclipse, what Eclipse you have to install. Just go to download Eclipse, and you can go to Eclipse downloads and just get this one, the latest one. It doesn't matter. Okay, eclipse.org/downloads. You can go on this URL. Right. Now, There have been practically no new commands. Okay, and you have to uh, be a little careful as well because these Selenium guys at times they change the version, and sometimes the automated version gets automatically updated because of Maven or something. So I'll tell you about that later on. This is not the stage for that. Right. Now, if you scroll down on this download section, you will see that Selenium is available with different languages. Of course, most of you would be knowing this, that Selenium is available in different languages, and we are learning it with Java. Okay. If you go to this link, the third link, API docs, if I open this link and switch over to there are different views over here. I'll switch over to the frames view. If I switch over to the frames view, this will open this kind of screen with different sections. Now, this won't be very easily comprehended by many people. Okay, look, to understand this documentation, this is basically the documentation of Selenium. You have to understand the concept of object-oriented programming. Oops. If you know OOPS, it is really easy to learn Selenium. Look, I was a Java developer before I actually worked on my first Selenium project. But because I had a strong basic knowledge of Java and object-oriented programming, it just took me maybe 30 minutes to understand Selenium commands because I was able to comprehend the documentation very easily. So that's what I always tell people. It's not learning Selenium, it's about learning Java. If you talk to any Java developer, he won't need any training. He'll just pick up everything within 5 minutes and he'll start working on building scripts. Okay, right. Now, the basic goal is that we need to understand object-oriented programming, and that's what we'll be doing in first few classes. Look, I will not be, teaching you in a way that first I'll teach you Java and then Selenium. No. Okay, I will teach you say I teach you some Java concept. Okay, and then we will see that how that concept is used in Selenium. Okay, so we'll learn Java and Selenium parallelly. Like if I teach you the concept of interface in object-oriented programming, then I'll tell you that how that concept is used in Selenium. Okay, that will give you a better insight. All right, now if you go back, right. So it's also available with Python, and Selenium with Python is getting a little famous these days as well. Right. Now, if you come over to Eclipse, right, Eclipse IDE for developers, you install this. Okay. The second one, Rupa, you are saying that Eclipse IDE for Java and DSL developers, right? If you want to go that way, right? And
Yeah, I have to go to that way because like mine is a Mac, so the link that you had provided will not work. So
yeah, Java and DSL developer, right? So you firstly create a new project, and under this you'll see a Java and Java project. Click on next, and I'll call this project as day one. Sorry, this is the day one project. And in day one project, you will see a source folder and JRE system library. This is nothing but Java which is installed on your system. Okay. And you can right click on this project. And once you right click, you will see a lot of options. One of the options is the properties option, which we will be using a lot. In this, the location of the project would be present. We had made this workspace, right? November 2022, right? And under that, you have the day one project. If you click on this icon, it will open the project path on the hard drive. All right. So whatever coding we will do in the source folder. You might be aware of these things. Many of you might be aware, but there are people who are not aware of these things. So just considering everyone in the training, right? So you create a new Java class out here, and I'll call it as uh, basics.java. And with this checkbox, public static void main. All right. So you will have some file generated. Hold on, let me increase my font size. Just hold on. All right. I think this would be better. This is the basics.java class, public class basics. Public static void main, what is this? I'll tell you later on what is static and all when we study OOPS. Main is a function, okay, in which the control comes up for the very first time. In every programming language, there is a function main in which the control comes up, whether you talk about C, C Sharp, Java, .NET, or even Python, right? Now, out here, please note, I'm assuming basic things, right? I assuming that you basically know what, say, if statements are, what for loops are, what functions, basic functions are, right? From any other programming language if you have learned. I'm assuming these things that at least you know a little bit about programming. If you're a kind of person who has never done programming and you're here for the first time, okay, honestly, I don't advise doing that. In that case, you enroll into the training, give yourself 20, 30 days just watching the videos on Java, and then you can join the next batch. Okay, that's going to help you out. If you are a kind of person who doesn't even know what if statements or for loops and all, what they are, okay, how they work, if even if you know how they work, that's fine. Because once you start building them, you will see how they can be built. Right. Okay, but at times, sometimes people with a very different background, say from commerce background or other background, they join in and then they find it a little tough. All right. Now in Java, if you want to print something, the command is system.out.println. I'll just type hello. All right, SYSO, most of you, and you hit control space bar. So this will come up after SYSO control space bar. Right, and sorry. If you want to execute this program, you can see this run basics.java button and click on this. It will execute, and in the console, you'll see the hello printed. All right. Now, at times, talking about this editor a little bit, when you are new to this editor, you uh, close this console by mistake and that output is gone. Or this is the package explorer wherein you will see the files and all everything. You close the package explorer by mistake and that's gone and you really don't know how to bring it back. So you go to Windows, show view, and you can select console. So console will come back, and Windows show view package explorer, and the package explorer, it will come back. Okay, right. And after this, say I'm assuming you know the basics, right? You know what an integer is, you know what a string is, and string you can you can put multiple characters. Okay, learning Selenium, right? Okay, what I want to start off and focus is I want to focus on the concepts of OOPS, object oriented program, right? So in the first class today, we will see how can you, before OOPS, how can we configure Selenium in our system? Let's do this first, but then we'll jump over to Eclipse. Look, Selenium has no exe. There is no exe for Selenium. You have something known as a jar file. You have jar files of Selenium. Okay, if you go to the official website of Selenium, and this is the Java version, and this is the 4.6 version stable, you click on this and save this. So you will see that under download, some zip file will be downloaded. It's taking a little while. Yeah. And just a minute. I'll put the version here and you extract this 4.6 version. This is the one. So you will see different jar files over here. Executable jar file. So Selenium comes up in form of jar files, and there will be some more jar files in the lib folder. So we have to import these jar files into this project in order to make this project Selenium enabled. There is no exe. You just need to right click on the project, go to the properties of the project. Okay. And then click on Java build path option. The fifth option from the top, Java build path. And there would be different tabs over here. Okay. Click on the libraries tab. Right. And under the class path, you click on class path, you uh, select add external jars, and you go to the location where you had put up the jars. Select all the jars, don't select the lib folder, and click on open. Also, click on add external jars and click on the lib folder and add the jars which are there in the lib folder as well. So when you do this, you will see a reference libraries section generated in the project in which all the jar files would be present. All right. So this is how you add the Selenium jars and you make the project Selenium enabled. Out here, if I just type new, there's a command known as say new Firefox drive. Okay, don't try to do this. You will not be able to do it. Okay. And if I run my program, You will not be able to do this in your PC. There are few settings which are involved, and I haven't told you. If I run this, you will see that a blank Firefox browser automatically opens just by writing this command. Now, what is this command and how is it helpful in launching the Firefox browser? See, first of all, the idea behind this command was to tell you the basic factor that these are the jar files and it's got few features of Selenium which you can use. Okay, features or commands you can say. All the commands in Selenium they are inbuilt. This was the command or the code to launch a Firefox browser. I never did any mathematics or I did not invent anything. So everything in Selenium is inbuilt. If you want to launch a browser, or if you want to click on a browser, or if you want to do any interaction with the browser, all the commands are inbuilt. You need to learn the inbuilt commands. There is no rocket science involved, nothing. It will just take 10 classes or 11 classes to understand these inbuilt commands. And again, in order to understand these inbuilt commands, you will have to learn OOPS, object-oriented programming. You will have to learn about objects. You will have to learn about interfaces. You will have to learn about the concept of inheritance in Java. Okay, a lot of things have to be learned. Right. So I'll start off OOPS tomorrow. This was the first class. I know time is left, but this was more of an introductory class. We will mail you the invitation for tomorrow and also the video for today's class. Right, within 3.5 hours, you'll get it. Now, anybody with any questions regarding the course, regarding anything, you're free to ask. You're free to ask me anything from anyone.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, we directly start from the OOPS concept means the basic primitive data